Line is Tsunami called Auntie Beatrice. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, family. My sincere apologies. He was calling from Ghana, so he was waiting for a long time.
Okay, no.
Now we can get the conversation on track. Vanessa, Blessing, and Yemdana. Are you guys there?
Yeah.
Excellent. I like the unison of voices. So we're talking about the youth, and earlier on I asked Mark to tell me what he thinks the age group for our youth could be. He says under 25, and then the Office for National Statistics (ONS), and I think United Nations, they define this group as United Nations says under 25 and ONS says under 29. But I know all of you, excluding Mummy, fall into this category. Do you agree or disagree? It's a leading question.
Yes, we agree.
Perfect. So we're looking at the situation of our youth now. If I ask you to just think about the youth of, let's say, England, where you are, what are the key words that come to your head?
Social media.
Social media is one of them. What else?
Usually quite confused.
Okay. Is that Yamdana who said confused?
That's Vanessa.
Oh God, you all sound the same. But yeah, thank you. So we've had social media, we've had confused. What else?
I would say like self-image.
Can you tell me a bit more about the self-image bit, please?
So how you view yourself, and also comparing yourself to other people.
Okay. Excellent. Yeah, self-image, social media, confused. Anything else?
I think those are the main categories that come to mind.
Okay. So what do we think is causing all of this? So social media, let's take it in turns. What has social media done to our youth, whether good or bad? Tell me more.
So I think that both good and bad have come from social media. To start off with the good, I think that some young children are using social media to connect with other people. Especially in a city like London, it's a great place to make new friends as long as, of course, you're being safe with it. I know people who have found their best friends through Instagram, through Snapchat. So it's a good way to connect with people. And on top of that, some people use it to actually gain a profit. So once they gain a following to at a certain height, then they're able to use it to their advantage and do things like sponsored posts and actually make some money for themselves. However, I do understand that there are a lot of issues that come with social media as well. I think, Blessing, maybe you can talk about some.
Yeah, so obviously a main one with social media is safety. So a lot of parents kind of are scared about their children on being on social media because they think it's dangerous. They don't know what's on it. If the children see damaging content. And another main one, this kind of ties in with the self-image, I would say, is being on social media and comparing yourself to what you see other people posting. So when you go on social media, a lot of the times you see like these amazing people living amazing lives, traveling the world with all this designer goods, and they have all this money. And then obviously it can make you think different things about yourself. You could feel like, oh, I'm not living up to that standard, or why am I not in that same position? So those are the negatives, I would say, for social media.
Okay, that's good. How about the confusion aspects of it? I think Vanessa, you said that, didn't you?
Yeah, so I think that school, even though school teaches us a lot of things to do with academics, I think that we're kind of left in the dark when it comes to practicality and actually living as adults in the future. So a lot of children or a lot of teenagers, they end up not knowing what they want to do in the future. They have no idea how finances work, how budgeting works, how all of these things that make you independent and all of these things that are crucial for living life in the real world, they kind of get overlooked in the education system. So I think that without proper guidance, a lot of young people end up quite confused and quite overwhelmed when they transition into sixth form or university or outside of university.
Okay, that's very interesting. It's particularly interesting because I'm hearing all of these things from a representation of the youth. Because we've got Yamdana, who is 12, we've got Vanessa, who is 16, and of course, we've got nearly 19-year-old Blessing. Is that not right?
Yeah.
So, Mummy, what have you got to say about all of the things you've heard your kids say?
Yeah, so thank you for allowing them to communicate these ideas, because for me these are the things that we talk about on a day-to-day basis as well, in terms of just getting things exposed and getting them to for them to voice their opinions, because whether I like it or not, they are out there and they see some of these things with their friends. But giving them the opportunity and having a dialogue with them is one thing that we are able to do as a family. And then sometimes then I get in to get them to understand some of these things. And sometimes even asking them why is that the case, they're able to say even the deeper reasons. And it's a question of how can we balance, especially when it comes to social media, how can we balance this medium to support us rather than it being a disadvantage to us. And with regards to the other negative side of things, there is always a balance if you look at things critically.
Okay, that's very good. So now let me take us back to the situation we're facing. Do I have your attention, guys?
Yeah.
Perfect. We see young people, the youth, with either guns or knives, and almost every day you hear of a situation where somebody has either been stabbed or shot or attacked. What do you think is going on there, guys?
Do you want to stop?
I think like the main factor to that is a lot of people. Some people die in gangs, and so like they want to like injure their rivals and stuff like that. Yeah, I think that in especially certain areas in.
Who is speaking now? As your voices sound similar, can I please ask? So if Blessing is speaking, I say, "Hi, it's Blessing here," and then we'll be able to know who is contributing what, please.
Okay, Yamdana just finished speaking, but
Oh, Yamdana, you talked about the gangs bit, didn't you?
yeah, I'm just gonna expand on that a bit.
Yes, please.
By the way, yeah. So I think that a lot of children and teenagers, especially in areas like London, very urban areas, they end up having no time to spend with their parents because their parents obviously working a lot to provide for them. So they usually end up quite lonely, and then the opportunity to have a sense of community around them arises, and then they just take it without thinking about the consequences. And then by the time it gets too dangerous for them, it's hard to escape. So if we can find a way to maybe give these children a sense of community in a way that's safe, then we can prevent these shootings and these stabbings from happening.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. So we talked about gangs. What else then?
Yeah, so this is Blessing as well. I want to say I also feel to an extent that with the rise of like drill music and stuff like that, it also almost romanticizes what to some people it could romanticize the lifestyle. So there's a lot of songs where they're singing about this type of stuff, and for young impressionable young adults or young kids and stuff like that, it could make them think, oh, I want to live this lifestyle and I want to be able to do all this that they're rapping about. So things like that could also lead to why there's such an increase.
Okay. Yeah. The question I asked, if we can go back to the initial question about whose responsibility is it for the welfare and the development of our youth. So I'm looking at the government, the teachers, the parents, or even you, the young people yourselves. What do you think about that question, and who do you think has to play what role, and for what reason?
Yeah, I think...
Is that Blessing?
Yes, Blessing again. We all have varying views on it. So for me, I think to an extent it's kind of the community and other young people around them because obviously if all your friends are in a gang and they're all part of that lifestyle, then it's really easy for you to just want to be involved as well. So you can be with your friends and be part of that environment and that community.
Okay. Anything else? Vanessa, what do you think?
Yeah, this is Vanessa now. I think that it's actually, I don't think that the blame can be pinned on one person. I think that it's a lot more complex than that. I think that everyone plays a part in it. The government, of course, they have the most power over this, and they are the ones that should be putting more youth clubs and more money and effort towards helping these children. However, I also think that parents should maybe be monitoring their children more and trying to communicate with their children more. And even down to the individual as well, to a certain extent. Like, who are you surrounding yourself with? If your gut is telling you that these people aren't the types of people you should be hanging around, then you need to take initiative and distance yourself from that situation before it escalates.
That's brilliant. Yamdana, what are you thinking right now?
I think that when they get in the gang, it's mainly like the parent neglecting the child, and that is like they want to be like involved with something. So I think it's mainly like the parents' fault if they get into a gang.
Okay. So I'm looking at you as a family. I know you've recently launched a family business. So I'm just thinking, oh my God, they must really get on very, very well in the family. The kids listen to their parents. The parents know their role in the family, and everyone knows their place. Is that a good assumption or not?
Yeah, I
I
think
would agree.
I think it's quite good. I think, we're human at the end of the day, and we do have our ups and downs, but relatively speaking, I think that we do have a very healthy family dynamic.
That's good. So if families are struggling, actually no, before I come to that, do you think African parents get their young children? That is also a direct question, and I'm asking it deliberately for for a reason. So tell me, what do you think is going on there?
I feel like there is a disconnect because obviously especially when we were younger and stuff, like our parents spent like a lot of time focusing on like working and like sending money back home, so we didn't necessarily like get that time to kind of talk and bond. And obviously because they've like come from Africa and stuff like that, meanwhile we're growing up here, there's also a bit of a cultural shift sometimes, or a cultural disconnect, I would say.
Okay, Auntie Beatrice, I know, you're growing up there, you must be very proud of these kids as they're talking. And Blessing, excuse me to say kid because you're almost 19, but you're Auntie Beatrice's kid. Auntie Beatrice, what do you think? Where do you think parents, especially African parents, where do you think they get it wrong with some of our young children?
Okay, thank you so much. Yes, Blessing is a kid when she wants, but when it comes to responsibility, she's a kid. And when it comes to her doing her own thing, then she identifies herself as an adult. But that is by the way. With regards to us as parents, just like Blessing has stated, I, for some reason, by God's grace, got to realize that if I didn't do anything different, we could potentially be in the statistics. So at some point in my life, I decided that I needed to do something radically different with how I wanted to bring my children up, because it just was difficult, me trying to bring them as African children, they being in the north of England, not understanding anything about what I was teaching them, and plus the fact that I wasn't at home most of the time to even look after them. So yes, as she mentioned, stepping back from work and just really focusing more on them is what I had to do to bring the balance together. Because I feel that the difficulty with us as Africans is that we are in the UK, but we want to bring our children up as if we are in Ghana. And that was my attitude. And obviously, it didn't work. And, you know, my blessing, for instance, as you hear her now, by age 10, she had a lot of difficulties that I did not even know. You know, being in a quiet community, struggling with her own skin issues. And I didn't even know. Only all I wanted was I want my child to be this superhero, you know, being African and all those kind of things. So I feel that from our perspective as parents, we need to understand the children in that arena that, yes, we are African. We want them to know our culture, but then we are even not in Ghana. They can know aspects of our culture, but we can't constantly be talking about, oh, this is how we were brought up. This is how my parents did when I was young. And then as Yamdana would say, but this is not Africa. This is not Ghana. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you very, very much, Auntie Beatrice. I say Auntie Beatrice. It's Beatrice Yakubu, the woman of the family. I know, no, Blessing, you are nearly 19. Let's just say you're 19. Of course, for the records, if you're 18, you are an adult in England. And so looking at your children, even Vanessa, she's very, very mature. But as far as being kids are concerned, you are your mommy and your daddy's kids. So from that perspective, you're children. But you are mature, young people, and I do really appreciate your time on the show. So we talked about social media. We've talked about the good and the bad bits. And sometimes we don't always have an influence. So when we listened to Mark earlier, he said something about how the government sometimes prevents the parents from disciplining their kids in the way that they understand. We're not going to talk about beating or anything, but I'm just thinking though, like, they will have the social media anyway. You may not always have control over it. How can we turn the potential negatives of social media into positives, Guy?
Yeah, I think it's a case of trying to get your parents to, or getting parents to understand in general that social media doesn't have to be a negative or scary place. The thing that I found with social media, I mainly use Instagram, is that whatever comes up is the stuff that I've searched for, I've looked for, and social media is really good with that. It will show you things that you like, things that you want to see, and so you don't really have to worry about seeing negative stuff in general. And even again, if you are worried about security or safety risks, you can turn off your comments. You don't even have to show your face or your name on social media. Vanessa had a foodie account, and for the first 2 years, no one knew what she looked like. So there are ways to work around it. And again, the same, don't give out your phone number, for example. Don't tell people your address. Just basic safekeeping things like that is all you really need.
That's very good. So, Yamdana, what are you thinking right now about what Mummy and your sisters have said?
Yeah. Hello.
Oh, hi, Auntie Beatrice.
On my
Who am I speaking to right now?
I am Donna.
Why did I think that was your mom? All right, Yamdana, go on. I'm listening to you.
You don't need to show your face on social media to like be successful. Like I have 1,000 followers on TikTok and I don't show my face at all. So
which social media site are you guys on?
I'm on TikTok.
That's Yamdana.
Yeah, I use Instagram for personal things, but like if I'm doing something work related, then maybe LinkedIn. But apart from that,
Is that Vanessa or Blessing?
yes, this is Vanessa.
Okay. So you've mentioned Instagram, you've mentioned LinkedIn. Are you using TikTok as well?
I don't use TikTok anymore. It was taking too much of my time, so I decided to delete it.
Okay, I've never been on TikTok. I see the videos, but I just pray I don't get there because, yeah, it might take too much of my time. But, I mean, it's a social media platform, so it's there. How about Blessing then? Big girl Blessing. Which social media platforms are you on?
So I'm on Instagram predominantly, and I do have a TikTok that I did for a while, but time management has kind of just led me to be away from that for now.
Okay, good. So I know you guys are doing brilliant things. Can you talk to me about some of the work you're doing individually and as a family? And also, I want to ask you a little bit about education, where you're at education-wise.
Okay, so for me,
Who is this now? Is that Vanessa?
it's Blessing.
Oh, Blessing. Yes. Please remind us your name when you speak. Thank you, Blessing. Go on.
So it's Blessing, and I've had my Instagram account for 3 years, I would say. It's a beauty account where I post like skincare advice and all that. And from doing that, I've been able to gain over 30,000 followers. And also from that, I've been able to do like paid promotions. So for example, companies can message me and pay me to essentially post their products, or they send me their products and then I post about it. So that's what I've been able to do. And on top of that, I've also been doing social media management for Miss Ghana UK, which is a pageantry competition. And the woman who is kind of in charge of that, her name is Mavis, Auntie Mavis, I call her. She also has a clothing brand, clothing athleisure line. So I've been helping her with the social media on that as well. The name is May and Co Activewear.
Maybe Zamankwa. Thank you, Blessing. Vanessa, tell me, what have you been doing then?
Yes, so I used to do social media in a similar way that Blessing does. I would create food content, either by going to restaurants or cooking and sharing recipes and that kind of thing. But eventually I noticed a shift in my interest, and that shift was towards web design. So now my full focus is on web design and branding strategy and graphic design, basically all of these IT types of services that I do. So I've been able to work with many people in the UK, but recently I've been branching out. I'm currently working with someone in Italy and someone in America right now. So slowly but surely going global. And I also do branding strategy as well. So just helping small businesses kind of get their branding correct and help them attract their dream audience. So aside from that, school-wise, recently I just got into my dream school, which is quite exciting. So in September, I'm going to be a computer science student at Ada National College for Digital Skills. And yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now.
That's very good, and it sounds exciting. And in fact, as you're speaking, Blessing and Vanessa, you don't sound the ages you are, 16 and 19, but that's just how a potential young person can achieve great things in life, regardless of where they're at. How about Dana then? You may not be at the level your sisters are at now, but what have you been up to?
I finished year 7 and I'm going to year 8.
Okay, that's good. So hopefully your sisters can continue to inspire you. Is that right?
No, I'm doing yeah. I also have a TikTok account. I post gaming videos on there, and I have 1,000 followers.
That's impressive. Well done. So, guys, let's talk about culture a little bit. I know your parents are from Ghana. They're from the northern part of Ghana. Is that right?
Yeah, it's right.
Have you been to Ghana before?
Yeah, actually, 2 years ago, we were in Ghana. So it's kind of, yeah, we have been, which was really nice.
Tell me more. Was that your first time, and what was your impression when you got there?
It was probably our 3rd or 4th time going, but it had been the first time in 8 years or so, so it was really nice to go. and see family and visit everyone. Our grandma is in Ghana, so we don't get to see her often. So it was nice to see her, nice to just see family. And then obviously going back to motherland is always lovely. The weather was like just amazing, and we got to see crocodiles and things like that. So it was really fun.
So what role do you think that side of things in terms of culture can help our young people create a positive life? Because somebody said there isn't anything good about Ghana to take our young people back there for. But what do you think, guys?
I think just being connected with where you come from is just amazing in itself, and getting to see how other people live their lives is an amazing thing. I even when we went to Ghana, I was doing my A levels. So when we went, I actually used pictures that I took there to be a part of my media A levels coursework. So even just little things like that, or just getting to tell people like, oh, what did you do this summer? I went to Ghana. I got to see my family. I got to reconnect with where I'm from. I got to just engage and be a part of my culture, was something that I was really proud of.
That's beautiful. I will share some positive messages we've had on Facebook with you. So do you know somebody called Isifu Bukari?
Oh, yeah.
All right, let me read his comments to you. He says, I'm proud of you guys at the Yakubu family. You are automatically a role model to my family here in the UK, and I register mentorship for my kids. What do you think about that, guys?
That makes us really happy to hear. It's really nice to hear that. Ness, what do you want to say?
Yeah, I mean, hearing things like that, it's quite encouraging. And just to know that at least one person, if not many people, are inspired by us and what we do, it's quite uplifting and motivating.
That's fabulous. There is somebody, I don't know if I can get the name right. Is it Noah Sky or Nowaski? I don't know how it is, but Ghana GH. He says, thumbs up to you, young entrepreneurs. I'm super proud of you. God bless you. What do you think about that?
I think that's really cool.
It's really nice to hear that what we're doing is, that people are impressed by what we're doing. It's nice to hear that people see what we're doing and appreciate it and kind of look up to us in that way.
So let's just assume there are people listening to us, whether young people or parents or guardians, and they're not getting on as well as you are as a family, Yakubu family. What advice do you have for them to get them back on the straight and narrow? Or where can they start from?
Yeah, I would. Oh, yeah, this is Vanessa now.
Thank you, Vanessa. Go on.
So I would say that we didn't start off as close as we are today. I think that it's never too late to kind of strengthen your bond with your family. I think that parents especially kind of need to take initiative and actually focus on what your children like rather than what you want them to like. So, for instance, if your child is into a creative subject like I loved art, then maybe the parents can find a middle ground with that and think, okay, well, let's see how you can use this art to bring us closer. Maybe we can draw together, we can paint together, something like that. And we can actually find creative ways to spend more time with each other in a way that you would want to do it, not just in a way that I would want to do it. Organizing to do things like having chats with each other. So we talk pretty much every single night. Either from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. or 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. depending. And even though sometimes you feel like you're not in the mood to do it, once you actually sit there and you start the conversation, you realize how fun it can actually be. And of course, if your family is very disconnected, then it may take a while, but you just have to remember to be patient and take baby steps.
That's beautiful. Auntie Beatrice, in wrapping up, what have you got to say? So I want a word from each one. So Yamdana, get yourself ready. But let's start off with Mummy.
Yeah, I just want to thank you for giving us this opportunity. Like I mentioned, in terms of us really looking after our children. We cannot give the responsibility to anyone else. It's not the government, it's not their school, and it's not any other person. I had my younger siblings come to look after my children when they were younger, but even with that, I realized that there was still a disconnect. So it is our sole responsibility. I do appreciate the fact that we have to work to be able to earn a living to look after the children, and I feel that that was the reason why I decided to use the digital space, because with the digital media, number one, the children knows about the online world. It is not something new for them. They were born into it. They know literally everything about digital media. Social media is their thing. But that is the opportunity that most of us are missing as parents, that we could actually get our children to help us start businesses, that we are earning a living and living with them, and just actually kind of influencing them rather than allowing them to be influenced when we are still working to make the money anyway, to make the money and give them to spend. So that's my take on it. And I just want any parent listening to this, it could be either reaching out to me to have a conversation about this, or even just having the belief that the internet is actually a safe place if you choose to, like Blessing was saying. And it's a place that a lot of people have actually made a great deal as far as making a living, as far as making a lot of money is concerned. Why not us, so that we are able to use, I would say, one stone to kill two birds? We are earning a living and we are being with our children and not having to blame anybody. Because at the end of the day, even if the government, the government is, the sad thing is that it's just numbers game. Like at some point in time, I always tell the children, even if a social worker says, I'm going to help you, she's just doing a job for her money. It's not about you. And why would I allow that to happen to my child? So it's something that as parents, we need to think deeply, because at the end of it all, we get the money, we build the houses in Ghana, then what? And if your child cannot live upright, then that is a big deal as far as I'm concerned. So I would say, parents, we shouldn't give up. We shouldn't leave the responsibility to anybody else. It is our responsibility. And however we are going to make this work, we should make it work. Because we didn't come all the way from Ghana or from Africa here for our children to go wayward. You know, it saddens me that, because I remember when I had my visa, I was so excited that for the new life for me, for the new life for my children. And then for years down the lane, if you see that that's not happening, there should be a time to sit, reflect, and course correct. That would be my point. And I will pass you to Blessing.
All right, Blessing, let's hear it. Thank you, Auntie Beatrice.
So I just want to say thank you for having us on board. And yeah, pretty much with social media, it can be a safe place as long as you know what you're doing and you are making sure that you are keeping safe on it. So that's the main one I would say. And just like to reach out to parents and also say, just talk with your children, be open-minded, have an open conversation with them, and just, you know, support them regardless of what they want to do, because you never know, their talents could be something that they could use in the future to profit for themselves.
Great. Vanessa, and then Yamdana.
Yeah, I think that this has been quite an interesting conversation. We've had conversations about this similar topic before, but I don't think we've really gotten this in depth before. So it's been quite nice. It's given me some time to reflect as well, and it's just a good reminder that, you know, social media and all of these things and a sense of community, there's always a good side and a bad side, and as long as you're making sure that you're on the good side and you're trusting your gut, then you should be fine.
Perfect. Now let's hear from Yamdana.
Thank you for having me on this show. It was very entertaining and interesting. And shout out to Noah for the nice words that he said.
That's good. I've got a few messages from, I believe, friends and family, which I'm going to share with you. And then I'll just come to you and ask why you think people should continue listening to Rainbow Radio UK. Okay, so I've read Isifu's one. There is one from Aditola Elutilo. I don't know if you know her, but I'll come back. She says, amazing job, our young entrepreneurs, and keep up the good work. And then she says, very well done for an amazing job, Beatrice. And then Miss Bell says, it's nice to hear from you live from Netherlands. You girls and boy are doing great. Kudos to you and mom. Keep it up. And then Aditola again says, thanks for the live transforming training the Yakubu family gave my kids and I on Friday and yesterday. Our lives will not be the same again. Keep shining. Kasim Yakubu says, their individual and collective achievement is phenomenal. They work very hard, self-motivated and supported by mum. The sky is obviously not the limit for them. That's your dad. And then Osman Hassan says, very nice speech. He's here to hear this. Well done. All right. So any final reflections on some of the comments we've got from your friends and family, guys?
I will let Blessing talk about that.
Yeah, thank you everyone for watching us, and thank you for your support. Even, you just coming along and being a watcher here is amazing to us. And again, you just showing your love and kind of, validating what we do, in a sense that what we are doing and helping people actually works is just amazing and really inspiring and keeps us motivated.
Perfect. So lastly, what role is Daddy playing in all of this then? What is he doing?
So Daddy is the brain behind. I mean, he is the unseen machine behind this. He motivates us. He encourages us, and also the fact that he permits us to do what we want to do, because I am quite aware that in some families, some men can feel threatened when a woman is having a vision of even bringing in transformation. So the fact that he's allowed this to happen while he's supporting us, actively behind the scene is amazing. And just say thank you to him openly, because sometimes we don't get the chance to actually reflect on his bigger role as far as this transformation journey is concerned.
Absolutely fantastic. Thank you. So why should people continue to listen to Rainbow Radio UK? Whoever speaks for the family, we're keen to hear.
Okay, so I would speak a little bit and then pass you to Vanessa to conclude. So the reason why people should keep listening to Rainbow Radio is that one of the oldest stations, so the credibility is there with regards to the quality of interviewers and the quality of information that you bring across to the platform for people to listen. So there is a form of transformation going on there. You are fantastic. Your earlier speech with Mark was just hilarious. I was laughing my head off.
He was bringing out the naughty side of me, wasn't he?
You just sat there, and I'm like, oh my God, So yes, you bring character to the show as well, which is amazing. And as a community, this is a safe place for us to also express our views and express what we can do to move forward, in the UK and beyond. So yes, keep listening to Rainbow Radio, because there's a lot of information that can transform your life as far as listening to Nana Yaa is concerned.
Perfect. And then we go to Vanessa, because you said she would speak herself. But Vanessa, just a sec, please. There's a lady called Caroline Balagun. She says, I'm proud of Beatrice for her devoted efforts in bringing up these children with my dear brother Kasim. The children are exposed to brilliant ideas. This family is a role model to other young families. Well done to every one of you. What do you say, Vanessa?
That's such a nice thing to say. Honestly, these words are really, really motivational to all of us. So thank you, Auntie Caroline.
And then you were going to say something about why people should listen to Rainbow, weren't you, Vanessa?
Oh, yeah. So I think Mum basically summarized most of the main points, but I do want to add one thing. and that is that I feel like some radios are a bit scared to explore certain topics, whereas I feel like Rainbow Radio is quite open-minded, and you get such a wide range of different topics and different people from all different walks of life coming onto the show. So I think that if you want somewhere where you can find loads of inspiration, have some eyebrow-raising moments where you think, oh, I never thought of that before, I've never heard of this before, then this is a great platform to go on and listen to. So once again, just thanking you for having us on here. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for your time too, family. And I was just going to ask you if there's any song you like, but I've got Jerusalem on the track to play. If that doesn't work, what song would you like me to play for you?
I think Blessing knows a few Afrobeat songs.
Blessing, are you going to share one with us?
No.
Or should I just pick one for you? Tell me.
Honestly, Jerusalem is fine with me.
Thank you so much. All right, I put her on the spot there.
All right, then I will play Jerusalem for all of us. So thank you once again, family, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. I think next weekend, isn't it? But take care, and we will speak again soon.
All the friends and family who have been on this show listening to us, we do appreciate you a lot. And thank you to the wider community. Thanks a lot. Have a blessed evening.
Thank you. Bye-bye, family. Say bye together.
Bye-bye.